tell you about a weird story that happened to me yesterday. So I have been really trying to get into shape, and I'm just preparing for spring break and stuff. I'm just getting more fit and toned. So I've been working out and running almost every single day, and I always go to this same trail that's really close to where I live, and it's safe. There's always a ton of people there. Yesterday I went for my run, and I went with a friend this time, and we had been running for probably about an hour, but we were also just like catching up and talking and stuff. And halfway through, my friend wanted to go back and go to the grocery store. And during the workout, I felt like I wasn't getting the best workout. I think I was a little distracted with my friend, and we were just like chatting and stuff. So I told her that I was going to keep running and she could go to the grocery store, and then she said she would just come back and pick me up on her way back. It was just starting to get dark, the sun was just starting to set, so I felt like I could run for like 30-45 more minutes. I always run with my headphones in. I just don't really, I don't know, like to talk to people, and like when I wasn't with my friend, I just kind of wanted to focus on running and just have my music blaring and just whatever. So I was running, and this red car like pulled up kind of to where I was, and the guy waved at me. And I glanced over and I didn't wave back. I just kind of like motioned like, you know, whatever, like an awkward wave, because I didn't know this person, but at the same time I wasn't gonna just like ignore them. And I just kept running, whatever, and I got in front of them. And then I came around this loop, and the way that I was going, they had to like turn and come around to be on the same side as I was on. And so they did that, and then they kind of caught back up with me, and it was the same car, and I was a little bit weirded out at this point because they weren't going that direction at first. And I ended up having to cross this bridge to get to over the area where I was going to meet my friends. And so I went over to, it's like a theater, and they do like shows and plays there, and obviously it was at nighttime, so there wasn't anything going on there, so it was kind of just a parking lot, but it was like a brightly lit area, so I felt safe. And I was just standing there and waiting for my friend, and like 5 minutes later that red car like pulls back into where I'm standing. And I was standing on the grass area, and they pull into where like the parking lot is. And I'm just kind of standing there, and the guy opens his car door, and he like leans out, and he like motions to me like this. And it wasn't like, I don't know, I just felt really weird because I could tell I didn't know this person, and I thought they were kind of like being creepy, but I didn't want to just be assuming that. And so then when they pulled into a parking spot of where I was standing, like I said, this theater was completely closed. Like no one was there. There would be no reason for him to be parking there besides the fact I was standing in the grass right there because I was going to meet my friend there. And I just started to get a little bit uncomfortable. And like I said, I still was a little bit further away from him because I was standing in the grassy area. And I just kind of like looked at him, and he still had his car door open. At this point, he had kind of leaned back into the car after he had like motioned for me to come over to him. And so I just looked, and I called my friend, and she said she was on her way. She said it would be probably like 10 minutes. So I was getting a little bit nervous, and I didn't want to act like I was scared or anything, so I just kind of stood where I was. And then he, like, I could tell he was like moving in his car. I was like looking from the side, like out of the side of my eyes, just kind of watching him because I didn't want him to like get out and run towards me or something. And I watched a ton of scary movies, so I'm kind of paranoid to begin with, and it probably was just harmless, but I was just creeped out. Like I just had a weird feeling. And so I started to walk further away. And as I started to walk away, I heard him like yell something. And I couldn't understand what he said. And then he yelled it again, and he yells, and he's like, "You're a bitch." And I was like, what in the world? And I'm sorry for saying that. I don't like to cuss in my videos, but that was the part that made me feel really uneasy, because if he just wanted to say something to me or he needed help or something, like that's one thing, but to like motion for me to come over to his car, and then obviously I don't, and then he yells at me that I'm a bitch out of his car, that's what kind of made me feel really uncomfortable, and something within me right then just told me to run. So I just like sprinted off, and I ran down to like the other side of the building where the parking lot wasn't, but it was towards more the trail. And I just called my friend, and I was like, "Hey, like there's this creepy guy over here, like can you come pick me up at the other end?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'll be there in like 5 minutes." So I stood there and waited for her, and I got in the car, and I told her about it, and she was like, "That's weird, like did you know him? Like what did he want?" And I was like, "I don't know, he just waved at me, and then he turned around and like came back around, and then he like parked his car and then like leaned out and went like this, and then he called me a bitch. Like I don't really know what was going on." And my friend is the type of person that is very like, I don't know, I love her to death. She's awesome and she always stands up for me, and she's very strong, and sometimes I can be kind of shy and a little bit weak, I guess. And so she's always the type of person who wants to like confront people, and I told her where he was parked, and we drove back by the parking lot and he was still there sitting in his red car, and she's like, let's go say something to him, like let's see like what his deal is, like he shouldn't be saying that stuff to you. And I was like, no, let's leave it. But my friend wanted to just, I guess, see him, so we drove past him, which I wouldn't recommend doing. Like, if someone's bothering you or being weird, I wouldn't, like, provoke them or anything. But my friend wanted to drive by, and we were just, you know, driving through the parking lot, so I was like, whatever. And when we drove by, my friend, like, turned and looked at him, and he was in his car, and he, like, ducked his head down, so we couldn't see him. And I was just like, see, I told you he was weird. And my friend's like, that's bizarre. And she's, like, backed up her car and got out of there. And we drove off, and I got home, and obviously I'm fine and alive and everything, but it was just a very weird scenario, and I wanted to talk about it because I don't know if he was going to kidnap me. I don't know what he was going to do, if he just wanted to talk to me. Who knows? But the main thing is I am someone who I feel like I try to be polite to everyone, and I try to be nice, and if someone is talking to me, you know, I try to say hi back to them and all that kind of stuff. But the biggest thing is, and especially as a girl, if someone is making you feel uncomfortable, especially if it's a guy that's making you feel uncomfortable, you don't owe them anything. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to sit and talk with them. You don't have to just be polite and, you know, do whatever. Like, you can literally just get out of that situation if you feel uncomfortable or if you feel in danger in any way. And it's really better safe than sorry. Obviously, I did nothing to this guy for him to call me a bitch, but I would rather he does that than something worse happen because I was too nice and like went over to his car or something. So just a cautionary tale. There are weird people out there. Who knows what his deal was? I still don't even know, and the whole thing just kind of weirded me out more than anything. Of course, I'm going to still keep running on that trail. Like, I'm not afraid of that. I think it was just more the fact being on my own. Of course, whenever I go running at night and stuff, I'm probably going to go with a friend because I think it'll just make me feel a little bit safer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, not really the story because it's kind of creepy. But I'll see you guys next time. Let me know if you like these story videos and maybe I could do another one. Bye, everyone.